Let's go back to Rachel Scott. Rachel was there when it happened. She was live on World News moments before. And then, Rachel, I know that you've been escorted out. Take us sort of where you've been taken at this venue and what you can see now.
So right now, we're not far from where this rally took place. So stick with me here. I want to give you just sort of a lay of the land here. So right where those porta parties are, and you see the flag that's hanging there, that is where the rally occurred. You see these white tents. We talked a little about security. You asked me what the security precautions are when Trump supporters come to these rallies. They are checked. They go through their bags. They go through metal detectors. They are screened by Secret Service. Right now, you have members of Trump that were in this Trump rally that are leaving right along here, that are being escorted sort of out of this area so that they can tighten this area off. I can tell you, we were inside, we were live on the air with you, and Secret Service asked everyone to leave. So we had, as press, to leave everything that we could on the riser. We're now being pushed a little bit further out. Wait, just stay with me here. We're just gonna keep walking. We had to leave our cameras inside, so our producer, Laylee Ipsa, is filming as we're walking and being escorted out of this rally. So just stick with us here. Just chaotic, intense moments that played out here, and just the sense of panic that we heard, screams from people that were hearing these popping sounds and then ultimately got down for cover. Now this area is sort of being cleared out, but this was the way in which you had Trump supporters enter this rally before they were screened. I could tell you just hours ago, this was filled with long lines of people, people waiting to get in, people who are excited to see the former president. Right now you have people that are just confused, that are in a state of panic, that are wondering sort of what happened and what unfolded. I will also note it's an extremely hot day here in Pennsylvania. You had a number of people that felt like they were already being overheated, so much so that the seats toward the front of the rally were actually prioritized for those who felt like they needed to take a seat, or those who were elderly, or those who felt like the conditions were just getting too much for them. As we were on the air, you saw the scene as I took you through it. You saw those chairs being toppled over. That was a sign of just how much panic there was in the moment, with people just trying to get to the ground. But for now, here is what I can tell you. We've cleared out of this area. We know that Secret Service has roped it off. This has now just become a gathering point for people that were in the rally. As I mentioned to you before, there's so many people that are inside of these rallies that oftentimes the cell phone reception isn't really great. So we see a lot of people that are out here that are on the phones, probably connecting with their loved ones and families, letting them know that they're okay, letting them know they're probably leaving this area as well. But this is the current scene right now. We've been escorted out. We were told to leave everything there for now, and we were told that we'd be able to go back inside to gather the rest of our belongings once police have cleared the area.
Rachel, first of all, we are so glad you and your team are okay, and your reporting has just been excellent throughout this entire campaign, and especially tonight as well. Tell us a little bit more about what happened in the crowd. You described this a moment earlier, but we have some new viewers likely joining our coverage. You said that after those popping sounds occurred, that it did appear that law enforcement rushed a specific area or person in the crowd?
Yes. Yeah, so it was this sort of split screen that we saw play out with. First, initially, we heard this series of popping noises. Then we heard screams from the crowd, people shouting, "Get down, get down." We were on the press riser. We had just finished doing World News Tonight with you. We were live on the air. And just minutes after the former president took the stage, this is when all of this happened. He had only been on the stage for a matter of minutes. So you hear these popping noises. And then after that, what we hear were screams. We all looked, turned over our shoulders, of course. We see Secret Service agents swarm the former president. They rush and shield him, essentially, using their bodies as shields to get the former president down. Also then, if I'm standing on the riser, it was over my right shoulder. What we saw was then Secret Service agents and law enforcement officials swarm another area that was on the riser. And there we saw, I'm not sure if it was one person, I am not sure if it was multiple persons, but what we saw was Secret Service and law enforcement agents swarm that area in particular and then escort someone out of that area. So we have no idea necessarily what exactly happened during that time. We know that there were people that were just getting down during that moment, and there were screams. Then it took several minutes. First, we saw the former president being rushed out. Obviously, what we saw was the former president. You've seen those images. He stood up, he put his fists up, and it was a sign and signal that he was okay. The crowd then cheered. And then after the former president was rushed into his own vehicle and that vehicle was taken away, then we saw that separate area clear where Secret Service agents and law enforcement agents had surrounded possibly another individual, and that person was then taken away. It was only then did we start to see the crowd sort of clear. And there was this sort of moment, Whit, where people didn't necessarily know what exactly to do, whether or not it was safe to leave. People were looking around, asking if it was okay. We're hearing a helicopter right now. You could see it there that's taking off right now. And then we saw law enforcement officials. They came out. They started putting crime scene tape to rope off that area. Members of the press, we were sort of the last ones that were escorted out and told to leave. We were told to leave everything behind. But there were certainly these moments where people were just very confused, didn't know exactly what happened, and were rushing to just sort of exit the area as Secret Service and law enforcement officials were trying to block off the area where this occurred with.